Hey friends, of course Dr. Stephen here, and I just want to thank so many of you that reached out to me, just telling me you were praying for me during that very challenging couple of weeks that we had. I went to California, where of course I did my mother's graveside service 1 year after she had died, but because of COVID in Los Angeles County, we were only just able to gather for that. But that morning, that same Sunday morning, I preached 2 services at the very large church in Southern California where I started out in ministry. Well, it wasn't just a sermon that I preached. It was a very, very personal sermon based on something that happened to us a couple of years ago that really changed the trajectory in a lot of my life and a lot of the ways that I approached ministry. And it has directly to do with what we're talking about this week, because the topic is brokenness and how we embrace and deal with the issue of brokenness as we minister to other people. And so I've got a couple of resources for you. I did put in the announcements and in the email and what have you, a link to the sermon that I preached, but you don't have to watch this sermon. I mean, that's not even extra credit. You don't have to do it. But if you decided to do it, just kind of fast forward to the point where I'm preaching. But there's also a link that I gave to a very, very personal blog that I wrote regarding what happened with our family and the challenges with our family. Also, and the primary thing I want you to look at is an audio. It's on a YouTube link, but an audio with Dr. Henry Nouwen. Henry is one of my favorite authors. He was a Catholic priest. He was a trained psychologist, a prolific author. He died a number of years ago. And Henry, he was originally from Holland, so he has a heavy accent. He just had a remarkable ministry to the least of these, to people with mental illness and developmental issues and those kinds of things. And Henry talks about brokenness, and it's so powerful. It's not even a long message, but I want you to listen or watch it and listen to it. And if you want to, you're welcome to look over at the blog that I sent you the link to, and even the sermon that I preached, because it was a very personal, passionate message that I wanted to give. And it will inform this week's discussion, which is about the issue of brokenness. That was not a subject that I thought would become such a major part of my life, but I was wrong. It, in fact, has become that. It's become a bit of a life message for me, because I understand what it means to go through that kind of human brokenness. And I know some of you have, and all of you will minister to people who have. And I think it's so vital that as we really launch ourselves into ministry, that we have a solid, biblical, and just compassionate mooring about ourselves and about our ministry when it comes to this issue of brokenness. So I look forward to responding to you guys in the discussion posts, and we'll talk about this and just seeing how God might use this in your life. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the discussion threads.